Philip in the house.
Yeah.
Philip.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is the
Loud and
is
clear,
the pop
mate.
it's the popular phrase of 2020, right? Can you hear me?
No, it's lucky, lucky, lucky.
How's everyone?
Should we give Philip like a welcome theme song?
Yeah, he needs a theme song for sure.
I need a theme song. Are you going to choose one, or should I tell you my favorite song of all time?
No. Let me choose one first for you, and then you can tell me later.
That is it. That is it.
Yeah.
That is absolutely it. I when we got that, I had that on loop.
Same here.
It's the best. It's the best, and there's a couple of reasons. And I'm sure you guys want to know a little bit about me, which is all good. But I'm a cat dad, so I've got two cats, and I can picture my little ones doing this.
Oh, wait a minute. The board's broken. I can't stop it now. Okay, it stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
That I think that's like the RFOX theme song right now.
Yeah. Finding myself revisited every now and then. But yeah, so like obviously, we're flat out. We're building some amazing things. You obviously see it. You're seeing drips and drabs of it, and we're trying to push up the content at least on so many different fronts. I think you'll attest to the level of production is definitely improved. But I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to things and expectations and all that. So I've got very high expectations of myself, and I've got very high expectations of the people around me. And I always say this to people that when they work with me, that I will be the best and the worst person that they ever work with. And I mean that like in a good sense, right? So I'll be the worst person because I really am demanding, and I ask for things to be better constantly, and improvement needs to be shown week on week, day on day, right? But it's also the best.
Yeah. So basically, what he's saying is, I gotta buck up.
Well, no, Pete, I absolutely not. That's you would run circles around me when it comes to like the tech side, right? So I'm not a tech guy. I'm not a coder. I'm a marketer. So I'm all about the community. I'm all about the people and making sure that our messaging and everything else resonates. That's the most important thing that I want to look at. So obviously, I'm relatively new to the RFOX, the RedFOX teams. So it's been an incredible learning curve for me, but also an exciting one that, I feel like I'm in like a group of like-minded family members that all get it. We all want to do the same thing. We talk to each other. We just pump each other up, and it's amazing because I've just left a corporate job. Was working with. I'm currently based in Bangkok. Whoever cares where I sit in the world. But I've been in Asia for 8 years. I'll give you a little bit of a story around that. But I've just left Thailand's second largest telco, which is True. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the telco space, but stepping out of a corporate, going back into like a startup, and this is obviously a startup that has got hugely ambitious targets, and it's just amazing to be part of this because we're building something great and we're building something beautiful. And I think you guys are. I mean, that's why you guys are all such passionate followers of this project and RedFOX, because you believe it and we believe it. What we're building is the future, and we're going to change things. And like I go back, I've just left a corporate that was big, 22,000 people employed, and it's just cumbersome. And decision making takes weeks and months, and if you ever get anywhere, like I was doing a deal, I was setting up a very cool omni channel partnership with one of the leading e-tailers in the region. I won't go into too many brand references, but we were going to push the envelope there. We were going to get them to have additional pick up and go spots at a bunch of our coffee outlets. We had 10,000 coffee outlets, True Coffee, and this e-tailer obviously they're looking at it from a capex point of view, and they go, well, we don't want to set up 10,000 shops. Let's find the right partner to do this. And it's just a great, I might waffle and I apologize for that, but it's just a great deal. But I go back to the whole decision-making thing. It took us like 8 months to get anywhere, and like, if you can hear the enthusiasm and how I talk and how I think, I'm a pretty fast-paced, and 8 months for a decision to be made or to move anywhere, you can imagine how frustrated that I was, So when I came across RedFOX and I started speaking to Wade and Benny and Glenn and Pete and everyone else, I was just like, yeah, these are my people. We all think the same, and obviously Ben is a different level, right? So working with someone like that is just amazing. I'm going to learn so much working with a guy like that, and he comes from enormously successful businesses in his background. But we're going through this learning curve together, and we've got such exciting stories to tell. So from a marketer point of view, think about it this way: like, I'm a storyteller, right? So we want to build something that people buy in and believe and go, yeah, I want to be part of that. And for a marketer, you're always looking at it. Like, can you imagine marketing a bank or an insurance company? And that's what I was doing. I was actually flown over to Asia many years ago to head up the Standard Chartered portfolio, and we were doing all their acquisition campaigns, all their performance marketing campaigns across Google, Facebook. We did all their SEO, we did all their on-site analytics, GA. We went through the debacle of the domain change from standardchartered.com to sc.com, killed our campaigns overnight. It was a huge debacle, but we got through that. But it's a bank, like marketing a bank is you position it on like cashback or travel incentives, which is obviously no more. But it's very limited in terms of like, the cool call to action or the hook. And now you join a company like RedFOX, and you're talking about like the virtual space, and you're talking about cashback apps and streaming platforms, content deals like with Miss Philippines. Obviously, something like that would appeal to me. It's cool. It's damn cool. It's like it's a marketer's dream, right? So it's like now we're obviously we're really excited. I'm not looking at the screen, so if you guys have got questions, Pete, just stop me and
Yeah. So Philip, yeah, just to add onto it, right? I mean, you saying it is a marketer's dream. I'm seeing it as a technical geek's dream as well. This is like my beyond my wildest dreams to push myself every day like this.
But that's why we're all working on this, right? We all see this, and we're all complement each other in wonderful, cool ways. I can't do what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time,
true.
I don't think you can do what I do, right? So this is like
definitely I can't do it.
Yeah, but this is the dynamic that we've got, and we've got such an amazing team right now. And so, like, I'll give you a heads up. Like, a lot of my time that I'm doing right now on a day-to-day basis, guys, I'm interviewing people. I'm building a team of rock stars. And I've got, like I said to you, I've got high caliber, or I seek high caliber in individuals, energy levels and all that. We can't keep up. Shall I slow down? The interview process is enriching for me, but it's also tiring because I give so much of myself in the interview because I want to set the tone of that energy expectation, and some of the guys look at me and they're like, obviously some of them are juniors, and they look at me with these wide eyes and they go, holy shit, how am I going to keep up with this guy? And others look at me and go, yeah, I love this. I love this energy. I could do this, and but that's a lot of my time is like on a day-to-day basis is recruiting and finding the right people. And we're in the stage now where and I love whoever is on this call and retweeted and helps us get the word out there, just like in terms of the the digital marketing manager role that we posted. I love you all for that. We got great traction. We had a wonderful array of applications. So I'm pretty excited. I think I found a digital marketing manager to join us. We just have to go through the bells and whistles with them. But it's such an important time of recruiting for us because we're sitting at sea level, right? And we're going to be the strategic ones that like see the vision and all that. But then we're going to have to get the right guys right underneath us and girls right underneath us. And this is so important when building a culture, right? So if we cut any corners on the type of people that we hire now, you can imagine down the road what problems we're going to have, to face. So I would rather make sure that we're screening we're getting the right caliber of individuals that are passionate about these projects and the vision of what we're trying to do right now, and take the time and effort to do that. because it'll pay dividends. Like I never hire with the expectation that this person is going to just, they're going to stick around for a couple of years or months and then leave, because the amount of time and effort and cost, of course, doing that is just enormous to a business. So I hire with the expectation these people are going to stick with me. They're going to stay with me, and they're going to stay with the organization, of course. And you build legacies thereafter, right? But it's important. Like I'm saying to the guys now, and this is something that Ben and the guys said to me, was, we want this to be your last job you ever have. And that is true. 100% true. I believe this is going to be the last job I ever have. And that's something really, really cool. And I say that sometimes to myself, say that to my family. I get goosebumps about it, because this is it. This is what I've worked so tirelessly hard for my whole career to get to this point. We have now got the autonomy. I've got people backing me. I've got, confidence instilled in me. When you deal with a person like Ben and Glenn and Wade and Pete, and it's like, these guys, they believe in you. And you sit there going, holy shit, man, this is really cool. They back you. They believe you.
So Phil, there's a question. What are your demographics looking like jumping into the NFT space? Has it stayed the same as gaming industry or something else? I guess you mentioned telco, right?
Bus data program or analytics behind what we do, that we're going to be A/B testing, we're going to be stress testing everything. So some things will work and some things won't work. But the proof will be in the learning, right? So we're going to get better and better and better, and we push ourselves harder and harder. So that's just from a little bit on the HR side. But we're also I'm looking, and we're now partnering with some agencies, guys, that are going to change the game for us also. Some design agencies that if I had to show you what they've done in terms of the animation studios and all that kind of stuff, you'll all can I swear a little bit on this channel, Pete, or is it not right?
Go ahead. It's free for all. That's what XP does and Carrie does all the time.
Okay, because I'm a sailor, right? I can swear with the best of them, and I think swearing is also a level of creativity and intellect. So I think I'm finding fucking great agencies. You can beep that out in the record. But these guys are like the top of their game, right? They've got portfolios that will rock the top brands in the world, Rolexes, Riot Games, all the blue chip companies, Red Bull, that they're working with, and what they've done with these brands is unbelievable. And that's what we want to do with our brand. We're going to build something that is just it's gonna last any crypto winter. It's going to last anything, and that is so important from a what's this guy's name? Jeremy Clarkson. Yeah, he was a fan of South Africa. I'm sure you can hear my voice is South African. So
there was one question that says, do you speak Afrikaans?
Bietjie Afrikaans, ne? But I'm actually Danish descent, so I'm half Danish, half South African. If you know anything about South African politics, it's a wonderful country, but it's a sad situation, and it's not the reason I left. I left because I was told to go over to Asia and instill some leadership in the teams. But I went to English schools my whole life. So if you are Afrikaans, if you're on this channel and you can speak Afrikaans, they used to call me a Soti. And a Soti is, and I don't know how graphic I can be, but it's you can use your imagination. Soti, it's a derogatory term given to English speakers. The referral of your one leg or one foot is in Africa and your other foot is in Europe, and you know what's dangling in between. So I like the beef jerky in SA. We call it biltong, not beef jerky. Biltong.
Okay, so we got one of the community members here that is from South Africa, and of all the days today, he just decides not to show up. So
okay. So, but I'm sure the recording will go out, and he'll attest. It's biltong. I miss that shit. It's the best. It's healthy for you as well. It's a great snack. But this jerky that you get in these plastic packets that's ridden with oil, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. But you can't get biltong abroad. So what else do you want to know? What
are
is
we going to beat Decentraland? So the question is, are we going to beat Decentraland?
What's Decentraland?
Decentraland is the crappy 3D thing.
I'm joking.
Oh, sorry. Did I say crappy? I'm sorry. My bad. Pardon my language.
You got to pick up the sarcasm. Man. No. Like guys, it's not like if you take it, we're doing like all these strat sessions on branding and customer experience, and we're positioning ourselves like against the similar company that we're aspiring to beat. Like we want to beat Amazon, right? We want to beat Alibaba. We want to beat Apple. That's where we're pegging ourselves. So like when you say, do you want to beat Decentraland? Yeah, of course, they're in the competitive landscape, but they're one thing. Whereas we've got such enormously exciting aspirations. You call them BHAGs for anyone that went to business school, big, hairy, audacious goals. And we're pegging ourselves against the likes of like Amazon and Alibaba and Apple. And these are the big guys. And Googles and the Facebooks, because that's where we're targeting. And of course, it's when we get on the radar and they start going, oh, okay, what are you up to? Then it's going to get a little bit interesting. But yeah, look, I mean, I'm also, I don't slate competition. I don't talk badly about competition. I think everyone has a right to compete and position themselves. I think it's kind of like a cheap blow to take a competitor out or talk badly about them, even when things are tough. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, I wish all of our competition the best. And it's a fair game. It's an open market, right? So whoever is better, stronger, presents a better experience for the customers, makes it easier to get on board, provides a better experience for you to stick around. That's the one that wins, and that's what we want to do. So we're gonna push ourselves, and we're gonna give you guys like an unbelievable experience across so many different business units. And then, like, I'm sure you guys are all dying to see this virtual space. I can only imagine you guys are like salivating there, like what we are also, because we're so excited to show you. But we're not going to show you yet in time, because something like this is so beautiful. Like, it's beautiful, guys. We have a call with our, our
Slow down, Philip. Slow down. Don't rile them up.
Okay, no. Look, but it is beautiful, Pete. I mean, you've seen it, so it's like, it's like shit. I'm part of that. And I try to explain. Okay, so I'm a single guy in Asia. I'm a cat dad of 2. I've lived in Malaysia. I moved to Singapore, and then I moved to Thailand. And my cats have moved now to 3 different countries with me. So they're very spoiled little felines, but they are my kids. My family lives half in Denmark, half in South Africa. My immediate or my nuclear family sits in South Africa, and I have a niece and nephew, and she's just turned 12, and the little guy is 10 years old. And I talk to them about this, and I go, this is what we're building. And they don't quite understand what I'm talking about. They go, oh, okay, But I say, like, this is what we're building for Lily and Dane, who are my niece and nephew. And I say, that's the future that we're building. And when I explain it to my niece, she goes, wow, that's really cool. It's really cool. I go, yeah, it is. And when you and your friends and all that are immersed in this experience, you're going to say, hey, my uncle did that. And that's pretty cool, right? To be part of that. So it's like, I think it's maybe the egomaniac, kind of the egomaniac in me, that I want to create a positive impact on this world. And that's, for us, this virtual space, and all the different business units, for the record, have the same aspirations about, giving back to the community and making sure that people thrive in their own sense of the way. We've had it's so devastating what COVID has done, globally. You can see it really prevalent in Southeast Asia, at least where I'm at. I'm in Bangkok. I live on a road called Sukhumvit. If you know Bangkok, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was a thriving, little economic hub. You'd walk down the streets, and there's shops, and there's just little retailers and all that kind of stuff. And
It's where the red light district is.
No, it's not. I don't know what a red light district is. So I'm gonna refrain from that. But no. It's look, Bangkok has its entertainment, of course. But the fact of the matter is, you walk down the streets. And before I joined RedFOX, what I would do on the weekends I would walk quite extensively, to get your steps in and all that kind of stuff. But I'd walk as far as I possibly could, and I'd go try new shops, and just try to spread that economic love a little bit. Shops that are on their like knees, they've got no tourism, they've got no one coming in here, and it kills me, because these guys, they've worked their whole lives to get to this point. They've got a shop, and they're proud of it, and now they're put on their knees and they don't know what to do about it. And we're hoping, and our aspirations is obviously to provide, secondary income or real income for people that want to get involved in the space. And that would be amazing, right? That we can provide, and for the record, we never think the situation will ever, it'll never be the same, at least. And we know that everyone's pushed towards digital, and that is great for us. It's also sad for others, but we don't want to leave people behind at the same time. So we talk about digital inclusion. We talk about, bringing the next 100 million online. And that's important for us, because that makes me feel, from a human, at least, point of view, that we're giving something back. And that's important, right? So yes, making money for businesses and making money for everyone else is great. But the stories that we hear sometimes from the community and it's really emotional, right? You sit there and you say, we've changed these people's lives. And that is what I want to continue, and I want to grow that. So that's some of the sort of the tear-jerking aspirations that I have. So apologies for going on a little winded. Okay, so will you be advertising traditional media, print, TV, billboards, etc.? Great question. So yes, we will be doing certain above the line if need be, and you'll see it. There's certain media deals that we're talking about that are exciting. That'll put us on TV. That'll put us on certain sponsorship exposure rates. So watch that space. We definitely in very cool discussions about that. Don't forget Miss Philippines. Okay, Miss Philippines is a great amplifying platform for us. They are going to be broadcasting. The girls are going to be talking about RedFOX. That's great. That's one angle. Print. It's going to be interesting. I would probably look at print from like more of a guerrilla tactic point of view. Like if we get cool QR codes, or we tag things, around the city. There's cool what I'm more interested about in terms of outdoors is augmented reality. I think there's a cool angle where you guys can hold up your phones. If you got, like, one day when we launch a D app, a super app, and we have an SDK in there, you can pick up your phones and you can interact with the world around you, and that's pretty cool, right? So, like, say a bad example, but like there's a building, a popular building that it's a landmark. You walk past, you hold up your phone to that, it recognizes it, and then like takes you down like a RedFOX virtual space, fly through or something. Wouldn't that be cool? As opposed to like a billboard outdoors, right? So yeah, we do have plans to do above the line through media deals and stuff. I don't know if I would ever spend on a TV ad per se. TV is also changing. So TV is actually going connected TV. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but you've got, and this is kind of what I come back from where I was just left my organization now. You've got the connected TV, which is basically your Apple TV, right? Or your Android TV. And that is the space between broadcast and mobile app. And that we probably would go down. We would look at sponsorship angles on connected TV. And that is very cool because it's a TV experience, but you're buying it programmatically, which means that you can get into the space through you target very specifically. So the right audience is getting the right message and the right ad unit, as opposed to TV, which is kind of like a spray and pray, which is what you call mass media, mass marketing, which I'm not a mass marketer, I'm a performance marketer. So when I spend my dollar, I want to know that I'm making a couple dollars in return. It's hypothetical. It doesn't necessarily have to be dollars, but I want to get a return on my investment. So I don't do anything, sort of just for the hearsay of doing it. There'll be a time and place for awareness and reach and all that, but I'm orientated about the numbers, and I like getting a return on that impact. So you guys will know that when you're participating in the space and you're part of whatever we're building, we're not going out there and just like, making it rain with money just because of the fact that we need to do that. We will be prudent on everything we do. So yeah, that's it from TV, I suppose. We will be obviously going down the Googles and the Facebook routes, of course, because that's where a large portion of the audience sits. And remember, my mandate would be to grow the community and get that mass adoption going. And a lot of these guys are sitting, or these people are sitting on platforms that are either Google, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. So yeah, we're going to be putting some media spend. I actually, just before joining this call, I was going through a media proposal from one of our agencies. And yeah, we're going to be looking at like Brave as a potential option. Brave the browser. They've got some cool ad units. So yeah, there's many things, many moving parts. What else we got? What's that?
What are your current favorite NFT projects in terms of marketing?
That's a good question. It's just really, it's exploding at the moment. I mean, like, can I rather just talk about an artist that I really like? And I think that he's doing really good. I mean, everyone would say Beeple, right? Beeple, but I like Baron Sarper. I think his work is awesome. I think he markets himself really well. He's kind of going under the radar right now. I love his look and feel, and maybe there's a little bit of an Easter egg there. But yeah, I'd say that. And if you guys don't know him, go look at his Instagram account. It's pretty cool stuff. What else? Rate Brave, 100%. Yeah.
What was your first thoughts when you were handed Miss Philippines?
I'm not telling you.
Yeah. Has most of your experience been with client-side marketing or agency side?
Both. So I've covered all sides of the arena. So I've sat agency many years. I've been client many years. I've been consultant, where you kind of bridge the two. I've been publisher. I've been advertiser. I've been ad tech. So I was my previous role was I was the regional head for the incubator group, where we provided GMP, which is Google Marketing Platform, ad tech, which is a full stack marketing solution. Comparisons would be like the Oracles or the Salesforces, or Adobe's. So I've done it all. I've covered it all. Is anyone interested about what I did on the World Cup?
I'm surprised no one asked that, because
No.
every single time that you're not here, then they're asking that. But then now I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yeses.
Okay, cool. So
7.
Definitely. Okay, cool. So what I did was the World Cup. I was a young man when I started the project, and as you know, South Africa won the 2010 World Cup. And the way it works is it's like a 5-year or 4-year project. So you have a lot of work leading up to the event. You have a lot of work during the event, and then you have what we called fly the flag, keeping positivity and momentum going after the event. Now, in those days, we didn't have an agency, or you don't really get suppliers that can cover all different facets into one house, or all responsibilities into one house. So the organization that we were working with, South African Tourism, and obviously the official soccer 2010 FIFA, and we had to form a syndicate of agencies. And the syndicate of agencies included everything from creative strategy to ad tech, which we were using DoubleClick, and then media, search, above the line, below the line. There's a whole syndicate, and the syndicate of agencies probably consisted of about 5 or 6 big players in the market, all working on this one project. And my company that I was working for was a holding company that owned 3 of the suppliers in the syndicate, and one of it was Glue Digital Design, and they didn't have the resource, and I just had the most experience working on that account. So we won the lead agency, because someone has to obviously rule them all, right? So Lord of the Rings. So that agency had to coordinate and basically make sure that there was no infighting. And as you can imagine, with there's only so much pie to go around, all the agencies were trying to stab each other in the back and behind the scenes take business away and all that kind of stuff, because that's the nature of unfortunate bad vibes in terms of competition. But my company did both. We did we were the lead strategy, and we won the lead account. So we dictated it all. And then my other company did all the media buying and search marketing, and also the ad infrastructure. We also did online reputation management, or ORM. Now, because I had the most experience on the business, because I'd just been working on it longer, I was put as business head. So basically, at the young age of 27, turning 28, I was the manager of all these syndicates, all these suppliers in the syndicate. And it was an enormous challenge. I had to coordinate. You have to build relationships, of course, not only with clients, but across the different infighting. You had to make sure that all the KPIs and the objectives are met. We had to coordinate creatives across everything. It was crazy time. But it was also one of the most rewarding and successful, projects that I've ever worked on. We won a numerous amount of awards. In South Africa, there's the advertising awards called the Luria Awards, and I think we won 4 or 5 different awards. We had these global campaigns across like CNN, on TripAdvisor, on BBC, and I was coordinating all of them. So it was like when I started the project, I was 27. I was young, looked good. When I finished the project, I was an old man. I didn't look good. I was weathered, but it had taught me some amazing things. And that actually led me to my opportunity in Asia many years later. So I did a very good job in terms of what needed to happen with the political infighting. We did amazing things just in terms of execution. It was one of the most successful campaigns that the country had ever run. And then we had a Fly the Flag post campaign, which is basically trying to, keep investment going and keeping trade and all that kind of stuff going. So that's what I did. It was a great challenge, and one of the company that flew me over to Asia was one of the suppliers in the syndicate. They phoned me a number of years later out of the blue, and my old CEO said, "Hey, Phil, what are you up to? Have you ever thought of Asia?" And I was like, "No, I haven't. What's in Asia?" And he was like, "Well, let's go for coffee. Let's talk." Then he told me about the whole Standard Chartered portfolio. And before I knew it, I'd sold everything I owned. I had 2 suitcases, and I was in a plane off to Asia. And that's 8 years ago. So, yeah, the soccer 2010 was great. I loved it. It was an amazing experience. We had these fan parks where we were capturing, a whole lot of cool content and angles around that, repurposing it. We were breaking grounds in terms of like social media executions. This was also around, I think, Obama area. So Obama had, obviously, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, but he had one of the most successful social media campaigns, and that pretty much won his first electoral run. And we did a lot of similar work with the with Facebook, pushing boundaries in terms of people taking over their profiles, and just getting this whole viral element to it. But it was great. I loved it. Absolutely loved it, and still keep in contact with all of the old team members, old bosses. One of my bosses, one of the greatest guys, Craig Corty. He now is in Canada, and we speak on a semi-regular basis. And he's actually the guy that he got me through all that. And I was a young guy. I was 27, 28, 29, and I was young, and I was getting battered from one side to the next. It was incredibly political. I had a client, my primary point of contact client. She was the meanest person I've ever met in my life. She was vicious, and she would lay into me if something wasn't right. She would lay into me, and that was what I referred to as my baptism of fire. And that was, if you can deal with that, you can deal with anything in this. But obviously, pressure and all that kind of stuff. And she was under pressure. In fact, it was a funny story how her stint ended. She picked up her laptop and threw it at her boss, and then she stormed out of the office. So that was quite a funny ending to her career. But anyway, no names will be mentioned, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so is it true?
Yeah, so there's 4 questions that I think you missed and I missed, I guess. Have you opened your first cork pack?
Pete, do you want to explain why not?
He needs wax, guys. He
Pete,
can't get
send him
wax.
I can't get wax.
Yeah,
because-
once he gets his wallet, I will send him one, and then he can open on stream.
Yeah, I can't get wax because my bank is not recognizing I can't deposit or anything. So it's been a bit of a challenge. But now this is an interesting, obviously, learning for all of us, because if I can't get it right, if I can't do it simply, then let's assume that a very large portion of the market out there can't do it either. Don't need wax.
That's very
wax
true. That is very true.
So
Yeah,
no,
that is
I've
very
tried
true.
the wax cloud wallet. It doesn't work. I've tried it all. Does not work. I had this huge FOMO evening. I was panicking. I was like, man, I need a wax. I want to like, you guys are all cracking the stuff open, and I feel like I'm like completely left out. PayPal's not available in Thailand, so unfortunately that isn't an option either. But we'll get there. And this is the troubleshooting that, like, we're going to make it simple, easy to onboard, easy to buy COGS, easy to buy RFOX. Our mandate is to make it as easy as possible. So, like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm like, I'm definitely not, I'm not an expert in terms of tech or anything and integration around that. But We want to make it as simple and easy as possible. And you'll see we're revamping the homepage on the website, redfoxlabs.io. And we're changing the onboarding experience. We're going to try and make it much easier. Basically why you want to buy RedFOX, how to buy RedFOX, where to buy RedFOX. These are critical questions that need to be answered on the landing, right? So we're going to be we're on the verge of launching that. We should be going live, I think, tomorrow morning or so, on the new look and feel of the website. And it's just the one page. And then we've got a whole lot of other digital asset expansion programs that we're going to be working on. So another angle, which is going to be cool for all you guys, we want to actually launch like an official brand ambassador program and a brand ambassador portal where people can sign up and you can refer others to. And there's going to be a vetting process. These people, people need to apply, and it's almost like we need to make sure that our brand is held by people who share the same vision. We don't want people coming into the space that are going to bastardize or belittle or not exemplify our value system. So there is going to be a vetting system around that. But that's also a very cool angle where we're going to do. What's this? You need the logo on the T-Rex's back.
No. Another question: are you what the heck is this? Are you changing / adding anything to your marketing strategies to target the crypto community?
Well, yes. Well, no. It's a hard one to answer. So we are going to of course we're going to be targeting crypto enthusiasts or fintech or something along those lines. Of course we're going to be tapping into that. We will never neglect core individuals to the project. So don't get me wrong. So what we're also undergoing now is to build out all these different targets, these personas that we need to map across the spectrum. And what you've got, and we kind of refer to it as the 60-year-old woman or female, male sitting there, doesn't quite understand how to do things, but just wants to be involved somehow. Make it one click possible. And then on the other side, you've got the more, sort of astute DGen type person where the communication strategy has to change completely according to the personas. So we will not try to exclude anyone that should be participating in the project, and which makes it interesting but also difficult. Difficult in the sense that we can't have one communication strategy that cuts or tries to solve it all. That's the lazy approach. So we actually going to be building up, you're going to see, and we do talk about it often, but I need the resources to do that. But we're going to be pumping up content like you have no idea. Okay, you're going to start seeing a lot more articles. You're going to see a lot more KOL engagement. You're going to see a lot more video posts. And the reason we're going to do this is because we've got so many different target markets that we need to start talking to and making our communication understandable to all of the people out there. And it's easier. So there's also going to be user journeys that we're going to be mapping out. So if you are a particular persona, we're going to send you down a user journey that is relevant to you, that's individualized to you. And that's also something cool about digital, right? So we can A/B test. We can make sure that when you log in, and this is another thing that we aspire to do, is like have a universal login. So when you come back, we recognize you and we make your experience personalized, which is great because you feel like you are worth something. You're part of us. You're part of our family, and we want to make sure that you feel like you're recognized for that, not just another name on the wall or whatever the story is. We want to make sure that journey is personalized to you.
Yeah, this next one is when you were talking about Amazon, Alibaba, and all that. So those are all centralized companies. What role do you see decentralized having in RFOX?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think. I mean, and these type of more corporate strategic answers should come from Benny. I'm not gonna assume that I would be in the position to give a concrete answer. I think time and place, form and function. But the reason why we've established such a strong, C-level, and the reason why we're embarking on such a rigorous recruitment process is because we want the right people at the core, making the decisions, being custodians, making sure that there's a proper vetting system, and taking ownership from a central point of view. So I'm not going to give you a straight answer on that. I'm not going to say yes or no. I think something like that would come from Benny. It wouldn't come from me. But I do think that there is a very strong sense at the core of what we're doing, and that is centralized into what we're building for now. Immediate future, I would say now, that it's going to be centralized. But time and place, I don't know. You know us,
Yeah,
we're open. We're open to change, and I think an organization that is not open to change is destined to die, right?
exactly.
So if it needs to happen, it will happen. If it doesn't, then And you guys, I'm sure you've seen what we've done so far, what we've managed to step up in the last couple of weeks. Things are pointing in the right direction. We shouldn't be changing that too much.
Any plans to use the existing community for marketing purposes, like contests?
Yes, absolutely. So that directly resonates my point on the brand ambassador program. Directly. Okay, so this is why there has to be a vetting process. You're going to be part of this. We're going to give you the tools, merchandising. We're going to give you the right incentives to go out there and be our brand ambassador. You know what I mean? Like carry the torch for us, make it worth your while.
Yes.
And of course,
So
that is.
yeah, Philip. So I believe the first brand ambassador for RFOX games would be revealed tomorrow. I think Fads has a plan to reveal that tomorrow.
Yes, awesome, cool. Yeah. So yeah,
So
that
there's
is the first,
yeah. Okay, so there's this one dude named Wad. He's asking
Wad.
what company? Yeah, Wad, WAD. What company do you admire most for their marketing efforts?
Is this for me or is this for Wad?
No. This guy named Wad is asking the question: what company do you admire most for their marketing efforts?
That's a good one. There's so many good examples. I mean, I love. Maybe it's because I'm a bit of a Mac boy. I just love Apple.
Yeah, this Wad guy is also a Mac boy.
Yeah. I think, guys, it's not an easy one to answer because there's so many great examples. There's also so many bad examples. I actually take note to bad examples more often than I probably should. But it's a hard one to answer because there's so many good examples, and they're all kind of like the cliches, like the Disneys and the net. I think Netflix does a great job, a wonderful job. I think, but brands are now also the individuals, like Gary V, right? I think he does a fantastic job at marketing, brilliant job at marketing. But he is the brand himself. So he house supports window. Yeah. But so I think like brands and the individuals, it's becoming harder and harder to distinguish the two apart. Which is like it kind of resonates here because Benny and RedFOX. It's very hard for you guys to separate the two. So these individuals are the company and the life force behind it. I think Gary Vee does a very good job. I think it's going to be an interesting one to see. In terms of the art space, music and entertainment. I know that's not a direct answer. I know it's not a direct answer, but there's so many good examples. And like, if you guys ever see a cool ad out there or a good execution of something, send it to me. I'm all open for ideas and suggestions and all that sort of thing, because it's not like we have to reinvent the wheel, but every now and then. Okay, here's an example of a bad execution, and people know this because it's on one of our project management things. So last Friday, I ordered pizza because I like to kind of do that on a Friday night, and there was a QR code on the box. And it was like, "Hey, check this out!" Wink, wink. Like all like,
yeah, I love that.
Like, "Hey, come check this out." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. What is this? What Easter egg are they going to give me? Are they going to give me something?" And I obviously scanned the QR code, and I went to some lame Mobi site, like going about us, contact us, and it was like not even color in it. And I was like, "Huh? What are you doing here, man? Like, you had me all excited, and now you lead me to this rubbish landing page." I'm like, what a letdown. Okay, so I'll talk about that. I won't talk about the brand here, but I'll talk about that to friends and family because that's such a bad experience. I don't want to. And I said
No,
to the guys
the
last week,
call to action was very good, right? People want to
yes,
scan the damn QR code,
yes,
but after
yes,
you
because it's time.
scan the damn QR code, like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was. They got me. Like for me to now go and obviously scan this is effort. It's friction, and for me, like it was just so disappointing. So what we want to make sure is, and we haven't got there. Not everything is 100% right yet, but we want to make sure that when we do present you something, you have an expectation, right? Every time you see something, you have an expectation. That's just in our psychology. We want to make sure that we are exceeding that expectation and surprising you and delighting you along the way. It makes it better. And you go, oh, shit, I wasn't expecting that. That's pretty cool. Or, oh, that's really great. That makes it easier. So our aspirations, just from a technology and experience, and guys, it's going to take us time. So you have to bear with us. And a lot of these things are not easy to get done. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right? But like our aspirations are to get to like a one-click type model. It all clicks, boom, and then it works.
This wet guy is asking another question. Is it
Yep.
true Benny's has a head like a sucked mango in real life, or is it just makeup before videos?
That's a mean question to ask, and I'll never make a comment like that on my boss. Never. No. No. Look, I think it's obviously a tongue-in-cheek question. I won't answer that, but what I will answer is that the production quality is of concern for me. So we're going to get better in terms of the shooting and the filming, and the proper lighting, and it's probably just a lighting issue. But we want to get better at that. So I still when we posted the AMA this week, I'm sure if you haven't seen it, we posted the latest AMA today. It's just not, it's better, but it's not like I'm not 100% happy with that, if you know what I mean. So it's better, but it's not like I want to raise it. I want to get better. I want to get slick. I want to make it look like it is it's glossy. It's it's that glossy magazine experience. Remember when they like the expensive thick magazines that have the thick heavy pages and stuff? That's the feeling I want. So did that answer?
Yeah, just scrolling down.
What cogs are the
This
best to have when you're in the virtual space? No comment. No comment yet.
Nice
Then you're all
try.
gonna go out. Then you're gonna all go out and buy that, right? No comment yet.
Yeah. So Philip, every time I'm trying to mention like an example, I have to come clean and says disclaimer. This is just an example. This is not the case because Art Legger has mentioned like a cog before in passing,
Yeah.
and everyone suddenly just goes out and buys out the whole market.
Yeah.
And, price just spikes up and all that. And it's just an example. So you gotta be very careful about that. Does Apple and how they charge crazy percentage of Fortnite type apps cause issues with what RFOX might do? Not sure if that is in your wheelhouse.
Say that again. What is that?
Does Apple and how they charge crazy percentage of apps cause any issues with what RedFOX might do? Basically their cut of the profits. Not profits. I think from sales.
Listed,
yeah.
To get listed, or obviously Apple, when you get listed on the Apple Store, it's very expensive. There's a huge vetting process as opposed to Android, and they do that because of the user experience, and they come with a premium around that. So Apple's got an interesting subscription model. I'm not saying that we wouldn't consider something like that down the road. Subscriptions work. It's all bundled now. Like if it's an ecosystem play, right? So if you subscribe to something, you get access to a number of different services. You've got to understand also the maintenance and the upkeep of Apple. If you're willing to pay that extra percentage, you also have peace of mind, because I don't know about you guys, but privacy and data protection is incredibly important to me. And I know that it's probably right or wrong, but I know that I'm protected more through an Apple ecosystem. It's more secure. So I'd be willing to pay for that premium.
That's perception, but that is just my opinion. Another question: do you bounce ideas off other peers that are your level in the marketing arena?
All the time.
And I think this means outside of
all
RedFOX,
the time,
right?
all the time, all the time, because I am not going to have all the answers. There are such good answers and such great ideas out there. It would be arrogant and it would be egotistic and it would be naive for me to think I have all the answers and I have all the ideas. And that's why I'm hiring good people. But I've got discussions that I have with some peers, some mentors that I've established in the market, either having worked with or just networked with. I have discussions all the time with people. Everyone's got an idea. Everyone's got a perspective. Some are bad, some are good. What's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong in having a conversation. It's perspective. Someone will always bring different perspective to something that we don't see. And especially remember, we're working on this project, like we work 24/7 practically, and we are so close to these things. We sometimes get blinded. We sometimes get blinded because we're too close to it. If you bring someone else's perspective into it, it can give us a fresh look and feel. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I thrive on talking to people, passionate marketers or even non-marketers. I thrive because everyone's got great ideas or opinions on things. Sometimes they don't. I mean, sometimes maybe there are weird ideas that I shouldn't be considered, but I'm also diplomatic in letting people down, easily. But I also, if you start sending me a whole flurry of ideas and I don't get back to you guys, please forgive me. But it's not that I don't want to get back to you. It's just that we're working on some really important and big things that takes a lot of time to get right. So, but I think that's where many hands make light work, right? So the brand ambassador program is going to be important for all of you guys to participate in when we have the official portals and all that, because you will then be able to vet and consolidate, and maybe that's where the decentralization comes in. But you guys will be able to be that sounding board. You'll be able to amplify it. What I was so excited about, and I've never been part of it, and I promise you, I've never been part of a community like this ever in any company, any project I've worked on. I've never seen such passionate, loyal, loving people in a community. Every time we post something, you see the likes. Every time I've seen my followers on Twitter, not that I care much about it, but go through the roof, and it's like exciting for me. But I've never seen so many people all love a common goal. And isn't it awesome to be part of? Like, it's something that is truly unique. And I've never experienced it before. I wonder, and I won't comment on competition, but I wonder if they have the same vibe. I probably don't think they do. But
I've personally been a part of a lot of communities, including like NFT based communities, and I have not found another community that is so awesome as this one.
Yeah,
this community is more like family rather than just random people out there.
Yeah, look, I mean, these comments are coming in. It's like it's being part of history. That's 100% right. We are making history here. Least toxic, 100% right. We have that philosophy or that what do you call it? That policy, and don't be a dick. It's 100% right because we can.
Yeah,
we can
that's
set
the
rules.
NDP. No dickhead policy.
Yeah. You can set rules, community rules, but I mean, communities are going to govern themselves, right? So we can say, like, we can put up a billboard saying, do not do this, do this, do not do this. You guys are going to tell me to get stuffed. Whereas if you guys own it and you believe, like, what's the common good for everyone or for the most people, you guys will govern it yourselves. Which is awesome because then we don't have to like kick people out or rap people over the knuckles, blah blah blah. You guys will manage it yourself, which is also great because you're going to be our foot soldiers, right? Anything else?
Yeah. All these are very specific questions with regards to the RFOX 2020 promo code. Have you any ideas how to reward the greatness of the RFOX 2020 promo code? What's the plan to market RFOX 2020 code? I don't think you need to answer those. There's very specific questions.
Yeah, and don't forget, like
is RFOX
Fads and the team are looking at that.
Yeah, is RFOX going to be in Miami for the crypto convention?
I think travel is obviously of a major concern. It's not easy to get out of Southeast Asia. I don't know. I won't say we won't participate, but I wonder if there will be a virtual. I mean, is it going to be a physical? Does it have to be physical? Can it be virtual?
That is physical, I believe.
Yeah, that'll always be a challenge. I think, like, guys, put it this way: like traveling from Asia to Miami, although it sounds great and everything, we're then in the plane for 12 hours. So what's happening to the business in 12 hours? Like, we need to be doing shit. We need to be building, working. I would probably, me, and I'm sure this is this shit is shared with Benny and the team. I would not be able to sit still for 12 hours. I would have a popular expression in South Africa would be I would have ants in my pants, because there's too much to get done. There's too much excitement. I would be offline and I'd be paranoid. So no, I probably would say my answer to that would be no. There's too much for us to get done in the immediate future, and less travel is probably better right now. Merchandise, that's a good one. So we are working on a merchandising program. I can't give you timelines. I can't give you any definitive dates, but we are working on some cool merchandise angles. And we want to try get this merchandise into all of your hands at some point. It might come through the ambassador program. It might come through awards or incentives or along those lines. But I want to get some really cool merch for you, all you guys. Of course, I'm of a bit of a stickler when it comes to quality, and there has to be a certain standard. And what we're trying to do right now is we're injecting some life and some electricity into the brand itself. So you're going to start seeing some changes to the logo, the designs, and all that kind of stuff. And I want to make sure that's done before we start getting T-shirts and anything else that might be, along those lines. So, but we are going to be working on merchandise once I've got the brand to where it should be. So watch that space.
What's your time frame and roadmap for taking RFOX outside Southeast Asia and into the global arena?
Well, that's already started. So, are you talking more about it like a market penetration with virtual space, or is it RFOX, global trading? So I look. I mean, our immediate focus is to look at Southeast Asia, but there's going to be a number of new things happening that opens up new markets. So, yeah, watch the space. I can't give you timelines because there's a lot to be done. So unfortunately, I can't answer that.
Pete, you there?
Yep. I mean, I've caught up. Okay, last question. Does burning tokens affect the token reaching America? Raise issues with SEC, or not really worried about that?
I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer that. I don't want. And this is something from a marketing point of view, guys. I'd never want to be in a financial position where we're going to be providing financial advice. Okay, so I'm never going to answer anything along the lines of investment or anything along those lines. It is what it is, and I don't want to get into that sensitive arena, because if it doesn't work, are we accountable? If it works, are we accountable? There's just too much ambiguity around that. So if you will, please forgive me, but from a marketing point of view, we won't be mentioning anything like investment terms or financial terms.
Yes, and that has been our stance all this while, Philip. We won't get into talks like that. What do you think of the idea of NFT wearables in virtual world for advertising? Like, can we send out avatars in CV?
Crypto
What the hell,
voxels.
CV? What the hell? Okay,
Crypto
voxels. Can we send avatars out in crypto voxels and Decentraland with Cox t-shirts? So I can answer this one about Decentraland with Cox t-shirts. That one we would need to get their permission, because Decentraland, but they hold the keys to the kingdom. So we can't just make t-shirts with cogs on them. We have to get their permission, and I think
I don't think they would like
to
that.
do so.
I don't think they
Oh
would
no,
like
but
that.
no, they actually have a RedFOX HQ there in the central end.
Oh,
So
really?
I think, yeah, potentially we could do that.
Yeah,
So
but
I
I mean,
thought
like,
cogs were keys.
what I would want to do is I would want to make the environment so cool that you wouldn't want to go anywhere else. You would want to be in our virtual space, and that's the ultimate goal of creating an enriched ecosystem that has it all. So, yeah, I mean, from a technical point of view, Pete, you would answer that, but like from a marketing point of view, I would want to focus our community at least where we have where we build our own custodianship here. Anything else?
So XP, you can definitely get a cogs t-shirt in our virtual space. Oh, for the others, we're not sure yet.
Yeah.
And they say you're now officially a degen because you've passed the 1 hour mark.
Is it? Yeah. That's awesome. I wouldn't call myself a degen yet. A degenerate, maybe, but not a degen. Yeah, no, look, I mean, it's we've got some exciting things, but many moving parts. So like maybe just go round up on the whole activity. So we're in this huge build phase where we're getting the right people on board. We're going to be redesigning our digital assets. We're going to be spending some money behind the media campaigns. Really cool, innovative, cut through arenas. You're going to start seeing a lot more activity in certain regions of the world. Where we've made a series of announcements, and that's all great and everything else. But you're going to start now seeing these announcements translate into things. You're going to have some tangibles in your hands soon, and you're going to start seeing that it's all transcending into actual business units, and it's going to be fantastic because you're going to be able to participate properly. But it all takes time, and it all click in together. But yeah, it's going to be for the next at least couple of months. You're going to start seeing things that like the world has never seen, and it's going to be tangible. It's going to be real. It's going to be amazing. You're going to be talking to your friends and family about it, and hopefully they're going to participate and eventually be social with. But it's going to be cool, really cool stuff.
Okay, last question before I let Philip go. Pokemon or Digimon? Which do you prefer? And this is from your fellow South African guy.
Really? I'm going to go Pokemon.
Okay, there you go, apprentice.
Why? You know why? Because I think Nintendo is really good. Don't read into everything I say.
Yes, just this is exactly what I told you, Phil. Everything you say, they're just gonna read into it. They're gonna extrapolate, and then you know what they're gonna say after this? Hey, Philip says Pokemon's coming to cogs.
No, absolutely, guys. As
Look at
categorical,
that.
I'm not making any legal claims here, disclaimers or anything along those lines. So no, I like Pokemon for its color. That's it. And I think Nintendo's the reason why I like Nintendo is not about any Easter egg or anything, but Nintendo is a company that reinvented themselves very well. And they were faced enormous competition from PlayStation and the likes. And then they thought ahead of the curve and they launched, Pokemon Go. And AR was, launching. And I don't know about you guys, but I try to keep fit. So I run in the evenings, work out in the mornings. But running in the evenings when Pokemon Go broke out was terrible. Yeah, I'm running through people that are like jumping, looking for things, and I was just like, oh Jesus, what are these people doing? And then I got into the craze, and I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty fun. But no, they're not breadcrumbs, guys. I just think that from a marketing and business perspective, it was cool to see how Nintendo managed to reinvent itself.
So Philip, when you were in Malaysia, you stayed in the KLCC area. So I guess you go jogging in the KLCC park, right?
That's exactly what I had in my mind. I was going through KLCC Park and Pokemon Go was at its height, its peak craze.
Yeah, you probably ran into me. I'm pretty sure you ran into me when you were there.
You would notice me. So here's a fun story. I was once hit by a scooter in Malaysia running, and it was a fun story because I was running at a full like almost full pace. I'm not a small guy. I used to play competitive rugby and all that, and I'm running at full pace, and I hit this. I T-boned this guy on his scooter, and obviously I fall down, not too badly injured, and I just see it was like almost like this. Like a Bad Boys scene, or who was the director of that? Like, what's his name? Jay Bruckheimer. And this flip flop went flying through the air, almost like the white dove that flies across the screen. And he didn't know what hit him, and it was a South African guy running at full tilt that T-boned him straight, boom. So yeah, no, Pete, you would have seen me running around KLCC. You would notice.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of runners there, which basically run at full tilt. So yeah, definitely would have we have crossed paths.
Yeah,
because that I mean I go there and basically I just play Pokemon Go while I wait for my wife while she finishes work.
Yeah. Shame, man. So yeah, we worked with Maxis there, so we were I was in that area all the time, but I also live just down the road. I definitely don't miss the KLCC traffic, Pete. That is another level.
Yes, correct. That is another level of shit.
What's the score there? 23-10. Okay, so we're very proud of our rugby. It's an interesting dynamic working with Australians. We've got some New Zealanders on the teams. And by the way, Pete, did you know South Africa brought rugby to Malaysia?
Oh, I didn't know that. But I know that our rugby team is pretty shit. So,
well, playing in that heat is not fun.
Yeah. So I was telling these guys when we were talking about rugby the other day. The All Blacks actually had a what do you call this friendly match, right? And that was during the heyday of Jonah Lomu and all that. And he was running, down, and there were 4 people like on him, and he was just running like there was nothing on him.
Yeah,
so
that was New Zealand versus England. Underwood was his opponent, and they were all clinging onto him like a bunch of school kids. Whilst Jonah Lomu.
Exactly.
Now, okay. Here's an interesting story. I was part of that World Cup. I went to that. I was in South Africa at the time. My father actually worked very closely with the Mandela family, and we were all part of that movement. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen Invictus, but Invictus is like that. That was when I was in school. That was exactly what I went through. In fact, one of my friends that I grew up with was in the movie. He plays James Small in the movie, Sean Piper. So you can go look at it and all that kind of stuff, and it's just awesome because when I watch Invictus, sometimes I get all that tear jerk memories, that nostalgia. South Africa was such an amazing country, over a certain period of time. It still is an amazing country. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but it was just during the 95 to 2010. It was amazing to be there. We had so much pride. Our flag was flying high. We had prosperity. We won the World Cup. Then we won the African Nations Cup. Our cricket was good. It wasn't the best, but it was good. Our netball was strong. Our golfers, are you kidding me? Like Ernie Els, Retief Goosen. We had like an amazing sports fraternity. So it was a great place to be. But yeah, I remember the 95 World Cup like it was yesterday. It was one of the greatest experiences where we were the underdogs. No one rated us. We were back fresh onto the international scene. And we just did amazing things. And yeah, it was cool. It was cool to be part of.
That's an awesome experience.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've got some interesting stories. Obviously, not all for here and not in a public forum, but I've got some interesting stories. I've had a cool life. I've had a interesting career. I don't regret any of it. I think some of my biggest failures were also my biggest lessons. And it's just been a cool journey. And it's like now, what's going back to the whole RedFOX Labs vibe is now it's only really going to explode, right? It's going to go to new plateaus and new things, and we're going to be changing the game. And some of the frustrations of coming out of this corporate now, the 22,000 people strong, was 50 people sitting in a room to have a meeting is not my idea of fun either. But also, it's like they were optimizing for an industry that has moved on or about to change dramatically. And now we're at RedFOX, we're changing and we're creating the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So that's really cool because I've had a great, a colorful career to date. But now I think, I've just turned 40. My birthday's in February. And I think it's the perfect timing of my career, my life, to be part of this organization now and part of you guys. And it's going to be cool. What we write next is all up to us. It's all up to us. So we're not going to be dictated for much longer by the Googles and the Facebooks and the Amazons and the Lazadas. It's one size fits all type homogeny that we want to break. So like one of the things that we were talking about the other day is, you go to all these e-commerce sites, they all look the same. They look exactly the same. Color changes, branding changes. Yeah, sure. But the user journey has all looked the same because they've optimized it based on the data that they've got. And that's just the design that we sit with now, right? But how boring is it? There's no loyalty. You go from one shop to the next shop and you just think, whoever's going to give you the best discount gets your money, right? So in that process of deep discounting is the fact that you are hurting merchandisers. You're hurting tradesmen. Because Lazada and these guys, they obviously they look after their money, right? They're machines. And the mom and pop shops, they are the ones that have to really watch out their margins. The margins get eroded, killed, or whatever. And if you don't play a game, they don't like to work with you. And that's just the nature of the beast. But what I go back to is the homogenous experience. E-commerce shopping has just become so boring. You go there because these mega sale events happen. It's the 11/11 Singles Day or 12/12. Or now Lazada in Southeast Asia just had their birthday in March. And you go there because you're going to get a good price. But do you like it? Do you think that it's an amazing experience? Do you talk to your friends and family going, I love that website. It's the best thing I've ever seen in my life? No. You just go there because you want that fulfillment. You want that thing that you're going to buy. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely not. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But imagine a better experience. Imagine where you can go and be immersed into a place where you can try on things, you can look, you can interact, you can compare, you can walk around. And then a click, boom, and it gets delivered to your doorstep. That's pretty freaking cool. It is pretty cool. Like on the weekends, unfortunately, Bangkok is going into a little bit more of a lockdown because we had an outbreak over the last weekend. But I actually do like walking around a shopping center from time to time because of people. And if you haven't been to Bangkok, I would recommend one day you do, because the one thing that they've got right is design. Like I live near a very popular, beautiful shopping center called M Quartier. And the design is, I Google it, guys. The design, the buildings are beautiful, beautiful. And it's very cool to be there. They've got fountains and trees and natural sunlight and all these things, and that's nice being involved. I'd rather do that than I would be on Lazada. But now imagine if we combine that experience. That's the power. That's what we're going to be launching, and that is what is so exciting about this. We're bringing back life to e-commerce, to a mundane experience that you're just there because you're going to get the best price, and then you hope you get the right product delivered, right? So I have a funny story of that. It was being a cat dad, I bought a cat scratching post, and what was delivered was a single placemat, a dinner placemat. Now, how that got mixed up is beyond me. So I bought what didn't even look the same, and I got a single placemat. Who buys a single placemat? Not me. I definitely didn't hit the wrong button. So anyway, that's it. Terminal 21 is awesome. It is cool. But the shopping centers are cool. What I think my point was, combining that experience of walking around and feeling, being, in a 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, or 5th-dimensional space, whatever, but combining that with a easy buy purchase option. My cats are not as violent as that. And that was funny because the prerequisite when I got my first one was I can't have a nutcase. I can't have a psycho cat because obviously working from home, I've always been like a digital nomad. I can't be working at home having a video conference and this cat attacks me from the side. So my prerequisite, the lady who posted it, both my cats are street babies. So I saved them off the streets of Malaysia. Now they are spoiled little brats who lived in 3 countries. But the prerequisite was I bring the cat over, tiny little thing, tiny, like you could fit her in the palm of your hand. And I said, look, let me spend the weekend with her and see if we bond. And if we bond, she can stay. But if she's a complete nutcase, I can't have this cat running around, killing me, scratching, my eyes out and killing me whilst I sleep. And more importantly, if I'm on a client call, I can't have her attacking me. So anyway, so she came over for the weekend. And she was terrified. She was off the streets, like she was found next to the highway in a bush, tiny little thing. Now she's a fat thing, so she's got a completely different cat. But she was found next to this highway, tiny little thing that can fit in your palm of your hand. And she went straight under the couch, boom, and stayed there, terrified. Imagine being that small in a big city like Malaysia, and terrified. So she sat underneath the couch. And I tried to, coax her out with a little bit of food, and she slowly came out, and she would go back in. And the whole weekend passed there. And it was like, okay, well, I've got no indication. I've got no idea if this cat is a nutcase or if she's the most loving thing in the world. I have no idea. I have no interaction with her. So I went to bed on the Sunday evening, and I was like, well, anyway, I've got no point to judge, so I'm going to have to let the lady know to come pick her up. So I went to bed, and I sleep on my side. And I went to bed, and as I was about to fall asleep, boom, something little came and lay next to me, and she put her head on my arm. And that's when I knew she chose me. And we've been best friends ever since. Cool story, yeah? My cats don't even know what a tree is. My cats don't even know. Philip, I choose you too, Pete. But my cats are indoors, so they're indoor cats. They've got scratching arenas and posts and all that kind of stuff. So that's what my one cat actually looks like, Frankie, the orange one. But if you guys want to see, my cats, I'll definitely post pictures. Cat cogs, no.
So Hanford's cat, Phoenix, was rescued. She was very small. Yeah, I think same similar to your cat. Could fit in the palm of a hand, and I think he's been in a community for a very long time. He's been sharing, like videos of him, like hiding in the bush and whatnot. And yeah, eventually now I think he's getting pretty big.
Yeah. Well, cats do rule the internet, eh? Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, that's just a little bit about me, guys. I'm it's just me, it's plain old Phil, with crazy ideas that I can actually change the world, and fortunate enough to meet other people that have the same idea to change the world. Now that's cool. That doesn't look like a cat to me. That looks like a Rottweiler. Very cute though. I love all animals. So another thing about me is I recycle every single everything I basically use. I try to recycle. Very fortunate to have a little shop near me where I take all of my stuff in. If I'm ever go on holiday, what I do is I spend at least 1 hour a day cleaning plastic off the beaches. I think it's very important. And I always say, like, if you have the opportunity and the luxury to travel, you have the opportunity and luxury to pick up plastic. So I do that. I also then spend a lot of my time on holiday feeding stray animals. So I'll go to like the local 7-Elevens and get dog food, cat food, and I will get a scooter and I go and feed animals around Southeast Asia, which are in desperate need. So I'm a little bit of a weird activist when it comes to that. Not an extremist or anything, but I do have a very conscious mind in terms of the impact that we have on this planet. And my aspirations are to obviously reduce my carbon footprint as much as possible. And that means, not eating fish, so be it. I actually went vegetarian for a while, which was a hard 3 years of my life. I went a proper vegetarian, coming from South Africa and Denmark. We're meat eaters, so it's either pork, potatoes, or biltong and steak. And my parents thought, "Nah, you'll never do it. You'll never ever last. I don't believe you." And I went 1 month, and they were like, "Oh, that's impressive." I went 6 months. They were like, "Wow, Phil, okay, you've exceeded our expectation." I went 3 years, and it was great. But then when I moved to Thailand, I actually started eating meat again, just because I was working in a big company. I know, like, this sounds a bit weak and pathetic, but when you're working in a big corporate, you go for lunches with your colleagues, and I was that guy that would always say where we can eat. So, I started getting less and less invites to lunch, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'll let me do it. So, but what I try to do is, if I do eat meat, it's only like once a week. Bangkok has got some amazing vegan restaurants, beautiful restaurant scene. So you can eat every night. You don't have to eat meat. But I'm not saying it's one. I'm not going to profess to you guys. I'm not going to sit here and preach or anything like that. You do whatever makes you happy in life. But what's the policy? Don't be a dick to anyone, to anything. So if you do that in life, you'll be a good person.
Amen to that.
True that. When your friend turns vegan. I know. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna bounce. It was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your attention and so much for the support and the welcome that I've had so far. It's just amazing to be part of this. And
Thanks a lot, Phil, for being on the Pineapple Show.
The Pineapple Show. Did anyone record this? I don't know. But yeah, it's an amazing experience so far. Just know that you are in good hands. We are going to be working really hard. We're going to be improving things. We're going to be stepping the game up. You're going to see things that, like, it just redefines our industry. And I've got very high expectations. I'm not an easy person to work with, but you will see that it is going to be wonderful to be part of, because we've all got to a point in life, and the next couple months, couple weeks, couple days, it's going to be just game changing and really uplifting to be part of. So, guys, thank you so much for your attention, so much for your loving support and your welcoming. I've just felt so, like, at home already, and I will work tirelessly, and I will never stop pushing the boundaries and barriers and growing market and making it easier for you, for anyone, for your neighbor to participate in the space and wanting to be in the space. And that is my pledge and my commitment to all of you guys, because if it wasn't for you, and this is a very common philosophy that I've always thought, but it was resonated by Ben when I joined. If it wasn't for you guys, we would not be here. Bottom line. If we do not have customers, we do not have loyal members of the community, there is no business to run. And we will never, ever forget that. Ever. And without that life force, that commitment and love and loyalty that comes from you guys, there's no business. Nothing. We can sit in the ivory tower all we want and talk about this and that. But if no one likes us, no one wants to participate, no one goes to consume or experience what we have to offer, there's no business. We might as well pack up. So I love you all, guys. And if you do DM me, or if you do contact me and I don't get back to you, please apologize ahead of time. But we got a lot of things to get right and to get done. But it'll get better, and as I get the right people in the right places and the right agencies working, yeah, you're going to be part of something. And you can always say to people one day, like, and I say this to many, like, this is like joining Apple when they were still in the garage, and you guys are all part of that. Now imagine in 5 years' time when we are that behemoth, and you guys can be like, yeah, we were there at the start. And we never want to lose that, right? We never want to lose that feeling of being a community and family. So no matter how big we get, and we will get big, we never want to lose that. And the people that will check us will be you guys. You'll come back and say, hey, no, this is not you. And we will appreciate that. So of course, we're always on a constant feedback loop. So help us craft, help us improve, help us get better, bring opinions, bring perspectives in. But yeah, it's really cool to be part of. So on that note, thank you so much. Pete, you're awesome. Keep on doing what you want. Did you know that the pineapple is the only thing that eats you as opposed to when you eat it? There's an interesting scientific tidbit for you there, Pete.
Yeah, so we talked about this earlier, and it's he asked me, right, how long is your call? I'm like 6 hours, and he's like, what? So I can only stay for half an hour. Check this out. He's been on for 1 hour 26 minutes. So yeah, awesome to have you here, Phil.
Cool. No, look, I mean, I do have to run and get things done. We've got some cool things happening next, so don't blink, as you know. But yeah, some cool things that are going to be happening in the next couple of days. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for your attention, and you all. And my cats say bon voyage, and we'll speak to you all soon.
Thank you, Philip.
Cool, guys. Have a good one. Ciao.